Buffalo Bills 20, KC 17. He was offside. That's all I'll say.
Yep.
If Josh Allen goes 23 for 233, a touchdown and an interception, 10 for 32 and a rushing touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, 271 yards passing, a touchdown and an interception. Only one carry for 8 yards. So Pat Mahomes was not great. James Cook, 10 carries, 58 yards, 5 for 83, and a touchdown through the air. Bet you he's still top 12, 13 close. He is the most underrated, most silently quiet, borderline RB1 in football. Like nobody ever talks about him. Every week I have him ranked in like the 20s, like 18, 20, 24, and he's 13 on the season. But
right, exactly.
We have Ty Johnson, who's still in the NFL. Moving on, we have Jerick McKinnon, 4 for 19 and 1, and then 3 for 18 through the air. CEH got the majority of the rushing work, but didn't do much with it, 11 for 39. The receivers, Rashee Rice was great. Everybody else sucked. Stephon Diggs, 4 for 24. Deontay Hardy, 1 for 25. Shakir, 1 for 12. Trent Sherfield, 1 for 9. Gabe Davis, 0 on 2 targets. So the people who fought me all week saying this was the Gabe Davis blow-up week and that I was an idiot, yeah, you were incorrect, sir. Thank you very much. I'll victory lap now. I'm getting very petty as the season goes on. I don't know about you.
Don't blame me. It's a long season.
It's a long season, and at some point, it's like you get sick of blah 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 blah. They're like, there's no reason. You're wrong. You're gonna be wrong. Just wait and see. And it's like I told you I was right. Fuck off.
You're like you.
I find I'm victory lapping more as I'm getting more and more tired as the season grows to a close. I know that before I just used to move on and I kept it to myself. Now it's like, fuck off. I don't. My filter seems to be malfunctioning as we get later in the season. But Rashee Rice, 7 for 72 and a touchdown. Kadarius Toney, 2 for 16, 3 for 25 and an offside. MBS 2 for 22. Dalton Kincaid goes 5 for 21. Knox had some targets, but didn't really factor in. I guess kind of split it here with Kincaid. 8 targets, but he just didn't do much with them. Kelsey, 6 for 83, a great day. No touchdown, didn't help him. The kickers, Bass was salvageable, I guess we'll call it. 2 for 2 on field goals, 2 for 2 extra points. Butker sucked, 1 for 1 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points, but it was a gimme field goal. Both defenses didn't kill you, but both defenses didn't really help you. They just they're literally, my cutoff line for a usable defense and kicker is 8 points. So literally, if I had started any of these 3 in Bass or the 2 DSTs, they literally did the bare minimum to qualify as a hit this week. And that's pretty much what they are. Just the bare minimum this week. Hopefully you didn't this is one of the times where if you had either of these defenses, hopefully you could afford to roster a second defense because I didn't want to start either. And I expected this to be much higher scoring. So the fact that it was 2017 and both DSTs still sucked tells you, how tough the matchup was. But what do you take away from here? Like this fucking, the Chiefs are a mess.
Yeah, they really are. It's so rough. Well, especially when we lost Pacheco. It's even harder. They're just playing the work between Edwards-Helaire and McKinnon. And that's why I bet on McKinnon, just because I thought he'd be more efficient with the receiving usage. He got the touchdown, which saved the difference. But it's so hard to trust anyone outside of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce.
Oh, see, I didn't think McKinnon would be more efficient. He did kind of what I thought. I thought he'd be involved in the passing game, and they seem to love to give him the goal line work, and that kind of – I wasn't surprised at all by the stat line. That's why I liked him. But
yeah, CEH is who he is. He just was not great. But, it's harder for that. It's the hardest it's been for that Kansas City offense in years. You watch them, everything looks difficult. Nothing's easy. So it's just they have to work extra hard. And going against a Buffalo team that's good, who's just been very unlucky this season, Buffalo looked like the better team. But it was difficult for them as well. And James Cook was the best player on Buffalo's offense. You watched the skill position players, and it was Cook that was making everything happen. Oddly enough, he only saw 40% of snaps. But when he was on the field, he was heavily used. So it's very strange. I don't know what's going on there. But
it's amazing.
You can't trust Murray.
We started the season and saying, if you had to pick the top 5 title contenders, 4 of them were in the AFC. Of those 4 that are in the that we picked, 3 of them, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals. I don't think any of the three look like they belong in the playoffs right now, let alone a legit contender. If you had to, like, I would say, if I had to pick an AFC champion, I'm going the North. I think it's either Browns or Ravens.
Yeah, they seem like
The AFC looks like a fucking mess.
It's a zoo. It's wild. Like, both these teams have been dealt with injuries and just letdowns, and it's not good. I will say, like, for the tight ends, people were worried about Kincaid. He ran 90% of routes. Don't be worried about Kincaid. He's on the field to run the routes, and he ran all of the routes pretty much. So I get it. What's his face came back? What I wound up like on his name, Knox. But he really did not impact his role at all. They used Knox like half the time. Kincaid ran 43 of 49 routes. Like, he's very much involved in the offense.
Keep going.
No, yeah. So he'll be a mid-high tight end one each and every week, which is good to know. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what's going on with Stephon Diggs, but this is another just disappointing week. He hasn't had a ceiling week in what feels like 6 weeks. It's just been rough. I don't know what's going on. They're not connecting, so it's kind of difficult to trust him, but he's getting the volume. So you just got to keep plugging him in there, hope it hits. They get Dallas next week, so that will be interesting.
Who's that, Diggs?
Yeah. It's just been underwhelming for Diggs. Even though he's getting the volume, it's just been like, man, it's just disappointing watching him go. Like this game in particular, 4 for 11. That's rough.
Yeah. Look at the targets here, or the catches.
Yeah, the targets are there. It's just not happening for him, unfortunately. Yeah.
All right.